So quickly today, I want to talk with you about one of the main areas of concerns by families when their baby has recently been diagnosed with an HIE diagnosis, hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. And in our context, that's going to be a reduction in oxygenated blood, which leads a baby to suffer a traumatic brain injury. And for a lot of families, the main areas of concern is going to be what are the potential consequences or the potential challenges that these babies are going to face into the future. And there are two areas I want to talk about with this. And the first one is that when these types of issues come up, it is imperative that you speak with the medical professionals and try to get as much information as possible as to what is going on with your child. One area, a good area to focus on, is when you talk with the doctors and the other medical professionals, talk to them about the area or the areas of the brain which may have been impacted by this injury. And so a lot of times no one is going to be able to just with certainty guarantee you everything that's going to play out with this, but it's important in times when you can understand what area or areas of the brain which have been impacted, as that might be able to give you a peek into some of the typical challenges that your baby might face going into the future. Now, the second part of this discussion is really important too, and that is a lot of times when we have families and they are in support groups. These can be online support groups, or these can be in-person, physical support groups. What we tend to find is that parents can sometimes look at other children and then try to make their predictions or base the challenges that their child may have moving into the future based on what they see is going on with other children. And I just want to remind you that when you have an HIE injury, when you have a traumatic brain injury like this, these injuries are specific and unique to the child that has been impacted by this injury. No two children are going to be impacted the exact same way with these types of injuries, okay? That is something that is important, and I'm going to repeat it. No two children are going to be impacted the exact same way when it comes to these types of injuries. And this is because there's a lot of things at play. There are a lot of variables that we have to take into consideration when a baby has a traumatic brain injury. What area or areas of the brain have been impacted? Have been impacted based on this? Is it a severe injury? Is it a mild injury? I mean, there's a whole host of things that you have to take into consideration. And it is so important that families understand this and do not try to, base their child's development or milestones based on specifically, well, this is what happened with this child or with this family, so this means that this must be going to be the same way that it's going to happen with my child. Nope, doesn't work that way. If you have more questions, maybe you're here watching this video today because your baby has an HIE injury, a hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy injury, and you have questions as to what caused it, how did this happen. If that is you, then what I invite you to do is go and get your cell. There's a telephone number down below. Get your cell and give me a call. Call my office. Remember, initially it costs you absolutely nothing to talk with us about what happened with your baby. When you do contact my office and talk to my secretary, make sure that you pick a good date and a time to get on our calendar. That is important, to pick a good date and a time so we know when to call you back or when to set everything up so we can discuss what's going on. Another thing you want to also remember or make sure that you have is a working email address. From time to time, we have to send emails to families, and it's important that if you give us an email address, it is an address that you check frequently. It is a working email address. And finally, I know from time to time we will have individuals who will contact us. They are in the United States, but maybe not in Maryland. If that is you, just understand that we have to use what we call co-counsel or local counsel. In other words, an attorney in your state, and that's something that we can work, to help you on. But I just want to make sure that you understand that co-counsel, that local counsel aspect of things, if you are not in the state of Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. Talk with you next time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.